Hello everybody, welcome back. Going to try and make a push for 2800 now. It's going to be tough. Who's this guy? He's playing h4. I'm just going to abort that. There's obviously an engine, right? The fact that he can play h4 and win is just... I'm not even interested. No title. Ridiculously high 1 minute rating. I'll try and play this guy. Ironically, that guy, the last guy might have been genuine. This guy might be the cheat, right? Knows what he's doing. So I was watching Hans Niemann last night, and he seems to be like he's on drugs or something because he's so hyper. He's too hyper. There's something slightly off about him. Don't know what it is, but he won Title Tuesday, the late one. I think Magnus won the early one, but he didn't play the second one. But it's just something I just can't warm to about Hans. I just find him very, very narcissistic, and constantly going on about his great achievements. And it's just, after a while it gets a bit ridiculous, right? So I can play this, but although in this position, White can probably ignore the... Okay, so he's gone there. Queen e8 is a move. Yeah, I mean, not sure I'm in love with this position. 94, f3, knight d2 maybe. This move I missed, just simply taking the pawn, right? a6 kind of. Yeah, it might end up being a draw, right? Or maybe even a win for White. Look here. I guess he has to take, right? So now I'm threatening this. Just go king g7, right? What's his threat? I'll just take. Oh, he's got f4. Maybe h6. Ah, fuck. No, it's okay. I thought I was blinding the a pawn, but actually... Start with check. I'm pushing the pawns, right? Okay, managed to win that one, so that's good. Not very convincing. The guy's giving me a lesson as well. Actually, I need to change the chat preferences, so I turn off chat. He's probably right. I don't like it when they start chatting to you. I find that annoying. Yeah, that's decent. Yeah, he knows his stuff, this guy's a bit of a theory expert. You put the bishop on d3, bishop on b2. It's not that special, but it's playable. Yeah, getting a kind of yeah, do I take, or maybe I play me like rook c1? A little bit, actually, maybe this pawn is a bit weak. Some variations. I'll be slightly careful. Yeah. Good. But knight e5 is a move, because if he goes bishop here, he'll go f4. I can take that way, right? So if I take, it takes to the bishop, right? He wants to go knight c5. Maybe I can do this. There's also got knight c5 here, or okay. So knight takes. He's got knight e5. Then maybe f4, f5 then, and try and claim that. No, he's not even bothering. Knight f6 check maybe. Oh, he's got king h8. Yeah. Although then rook c4, take, swing the rook. Okay, he's decided to go for that. Queen e3. So if queen h6, rook g8, rook c4, he's got g5. In general, he wants to play g5. Maybe rook c4, and then after rook g8, go queen g5. So now this is a threat. If rook h4, what does he want? Oh, queen d3 he wants. And then queen h6. And now queen g5 I think wins, right? Because rook g8, rook h7. I don't want the guy lecturing me, so I'll play somebody else. I had this against a Dutch IM, Arthur Pipers, and he prepared for me because he used my Lichess repertoire, and he noticed that I played this system and there was like a little bit of a flaw in it. Well, I'll take the draw because that's a gain of a point, right? Who's this guy? Another guy, no title, suspicious, right? Let's forget that guy. Oh, he says he's an international master. Very high ratings, so very high ratings. 29-27 at 3 minutes. He's an IM. I guess that's possible, right? I played this guy on so many occasions. He streams his games. I think he might be German or something like that, right? He's a pretty decent player. I've had some tough battles. But I'm generally up. So I've hit 27.60, which is good. Yeah, I keep playing this line, which is a bit duff. And knight d2, right? This is the theory, but it's not supposed to be that great a line. It's playable. A4 now, I think you go. Do you go A4? The idea of taking here? Can't remember doing this. And maybe you can just take here now. Okay, bishop E2. Could also take on B5. Yeah, this is like the theory, right? The main line, and it's supposed to castle, something like that. It's gone for that move. Bishop H5, Rook H7, maybe. So if I take knight C3, maybe, or you could also take on C5. I guess he'll take, right. Take on D4, knight D5, ED5, AB5. It's very murky. So after Queen D4, maybe Queen D4, yeah? Or maybe it's... Ah. Right. So if Queen G4... Maybe Queen G4 has got H5 he wants? No. I feel like E6 is giving me good play now. Bishop F3. He's got knight B6 there. So maybe this isn't that great. I need a good move here. Like Rook D1 is playable. Let's try to win the pawn. Queen H6. Queen F7. He's got Rook E7. Maybe just take the pawn. I don't think he's going to take here because of Rook B1. So Queen G5. Maybe then he's starting to think about taking. Could also get H3. No, I don't like H3. Okay, D4. Yeah, I'm very short of time now. Bishop E7, Bishop C7, Queen F4 maybe. Try and come in here. He's well up on the clock, this guy. He's well up on the clock. They're just too slow and I'm going to lose on time again. Fucking annoying. Okay, it's very murky now. Just gone for it. Queen C6. Okay, I'm hitting the bish. If I take... Oh, I've actually had false mate there. Fuck's sakes. So frustrating. Okay, that was lucky. Lucky win, actually. Lucky win. We're doing well so far. My push to 2800. Who's this guy? Always have to check the. Yeah, this guy's good at bullet. Actually, I've got a losing record against this guy. I shouldn't even play him. Actually, bishop g4 is a move there, I seem to remember. Maybe even bishop g4 here, yeah. I'm not sure I really want h6 thrown in. Maybe start rook e8. Stop knight b5, maybe. Yeah, now I need to come up with a plan. This is where it gets tricky. Chess is tricky when you don't have a plan. I could just wait for him to come up with some ideas, but at some point move the knight. Probably knight e5 is where does it go, you know? This is why the Benoni is not very good opening. Okay, that move I hadn't even considered. There is weird stuff with queen d2, knight d2, knight d5, e d5, rook e3, rook e3, bishop d4, but it doesn't work because of knight c4. Maybe just come back. Okay, yeah, this is a good little plan that he's come up with. I really need something clever here, but I don't seem to have it. I don't even know what am I doing with that move. Yeah, I should have traded earlier probably. I know he's got b4 ideas, right? And I'm slow here. I'm very slow. A knight c4, b6, or e5 is also possible. Yeah, this is a bad game by me. Now e5, rook e5 probably doesn't quite work right. I've got weaknesses everywhere. Yeah, I blundered a pawn. Not very surprising. Try and go h4 and then e5 at the moment. I've got knight d5. So maybe as soon as I move a knight, he goes e5, right? I mean, I do have ideas of queen g5 now, so starting to get back into it a little bit, but still probably not enough. Well, I mean, objectively, I'm lost, but I've got some practical chances now. Yeah, I think that was a bit of a strange move he just played there. Because now knight f4. I mean, it almost works with knight d3. Does knight d3 work? He's got rook d3. Annoyingly. You start with this. That move I missed. Okay, it's getting sharp now. Calculation needed. Maybe I'm okay now. Got queen c3 though. Yeah, which is spotted annoyingly. Okay, he's walked into knight v3, there's some hope now. What am I doing in so short time? I forgot he couldn't go to g2 actually. Who's this guy? Maybe normal player, yeah? Yeah, this guy playing well, yeah? Another guy just playing unbelievably well. Need a good sequence. Maybe I don't have it. He wants knight b6. Yeah, he's finding all the right moves. Is very annoying. I think he's wired up, this guy. Okay, I'm gonna sack a pawn. This is kind of desperate already. Also b2's weak, like, yeah. Try and go knight g5 and get active. He's probably lost anyway, but he's actually found that as well. Yeah, this guy's wired up for sure. It's wired for sound. I've blundered the fucking... Yeah, just an engine cheat, isn't he? That doesn't even contain a threat. Yeah, just finds everything. Like, just no chance for me. No hope whatsoever. pointless playing these people, you know, he's got no chance against them. So that's my first loss today. Normally I'd lose like 3 or 4 by this stage. So maybe I'm getting more used to playing in the morning. You know, but yeah, that guy was just like literally every move, most perfect move, you know. Just didn't give me any chance whatsoever. Very suspicious player, no title. What are you going to do, right? Unfortunately, we've still got a lot of this cheating going on online. This guy looks suspicious. Well, 3,000 a bullet, 3,100 a bullet. I don't know where all these like really high bullet rates. I'm sure that before it was rare to be 3,000 a bullet. Now everybody seems to be 3,000 a bullet, apart from me, of course. Like anyone who doesn't cheat doesn't get that 3,000 boost, right? You need to cheat to get the 3,000 boost. Okay. If I take, how bad is that? Yeah, maybe it's all right. Because I feel like I'm a bit slow here. I want to go G6, kick as knight. Maybe Queen C7. He's got Rook D1. I could take and go B5. I know this whole structure's weak. Maybe go E4, depending on what he plays. E4 now is losing a pawn, right? So E4, knight E4, knight E4, bishop E4. I'm going to give it a go. So I think if I don't do that, I'm in trouble. Well, that move I missed. There's Queen F5 though. Maybe Queen F5 is a move. Yeah, now it should be okay, right? But I'm well down on the clock. Throwing a load of improving moves. He's playing fast, but I don't think he's got any advantage. So, some hope for me. Also, maybe you can threaten to take and then take on E4. You have to watch out for Rook D8 at the end. Bishop G7. Okay, got to watch out for Rook D6. Maybe I shouldn't have played them. Maybe H6 is coming. You can't go Rook D6 immediately, I think. I want Rook D6, right? I think actually that would be a blunder at the moment. I thought that was a blunder because of this move. Because King F1 is Queen H3 check. And King F3, well, he's got Bishop E3. Well, that means very good for him. Bishop E3 has to play, probably. It's not so clear if I go for the ending. Because he's got this outside pass pawn. It's very annoying. It's Queen C5 actually. Again, I'm not really threatening when you A3 pawn. But you can't really go King E2 because of... So how does he break the pin? Maybe start with Rook E6. Speed up again though. It's too slow again. Queen D5. D4. Queen d5, rook f. Probably end up losing now. So slow, yeah. We know. I should have taken the draw. I'll probably lose now. I mean, I'm better, but I've just got no time. Okay, he's starting to use his time as well. So there's some hope. Okay, trying to win a pawn. Okay, managed to win that one. That was a big win. I'm just going to stop there because I've gained points on the session, right? You know, I've moved over 20. Yeah, I don't want to play too many games because this is what I was doing yesterday and the day before. And let's have a look at those games anyway. Did I have a forced win in this game? How accurate was it? 93%, that's not bad for blitz. So actually he doesn't like what he's doing here. Like knight e4, so maybe he was just making it up. Bishop g4. I assume this is some sort of theory because, yeah, you're supposed to take, right? Because here, there's rook e1 and he gets good play. Like, actually, this is a... Wow, that's a crazy line. Bishop e6, queen h5. Yeah, yesterday I played for 4.5 hours or something. This is just bonkers. So that, like, you know, any pretension to do anything constructive in the day is already gone. So I played from like 8 till like, well, 4 hours 20 minutes or something like that. Something stupid. So that stream will probably be up at some point. Yeah, I mean that's just ridiculous, right? Yeah. So bishop g4. So this is actually some sort of blunder what he's doing. But then later on. A5 was a good move, yeah. So you should always respond to c3 with a5. Well, I'll remember that. But then he doesn't want to go a5 here, so what isn't it? Well, actually, that's not a bad move, yeah. Yeah, taking was actually b5. I was worried about the knight coming in, but then the knight is sort of stuck, right? Yeah, but then g6 is coming. Yeah. But how do you go g6 without him going knight? Without him going, oh, you're just going to take or something, and the knight's kind of trapped, right? Ah, okay. So b5 is a move, yeah, because that's obviously, yeah. In fact, he's actually in trouble. If he goes this way, it's just anti-positional. Right, yeah, taking was wrong. Although, yeah, I think I like e4 was a good decision to at least get some... I thought he might go... Can he go there? Oh, no, probably not. Because of rook e4 or something. No. No, that just loses. Because queen b16 doesn't have f3. I thought you'd go rook e1, yeah. Rook e1 was the move, right? And then now I'm doing well, right? So actually, this guy wasn't that strong, but I think he's just a non-cheat, right? Like a normal player. You know, and this is where he ended up in this bad position. Actually, rook e5 was crushing. Didn't see it. Yeah, rook e5 because you can't go king g2 because the bishop takes e3, rook takes e3, queen d2 check, and then I win a rook. So at the moment I can't win. Yeah, and obviously g4. That's not a move. First, he probably wouldn't find it a blitz anyway. Yeah, so basically I faffed around. I was still a lot better, even though I faffed around. And yeah, but this is where I struggle sometimes, even like classical as well, right? To find that killer, you know, because I've gone from like a +5 position to like +2, and then you're very much in danger of giving the win away completely, right? Like, say he goes here, like how do you win then? So basically that was like classical. You would hope that you might find rook e5. Also, queen h5 was crushing. Yeah, classical I'd probably find queen h5 because it's just check. Yeah. Okay, so that game wasn't great. Let's have a look at some of the other games. I was playing against this guy who I suspected was engine cheating. Let's have a look. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he's a genuine player. 1998. Normally that sort of year of their birth, right? So he might be 27. Something like that. Possibly Spanish. But again, yeah, it was a poor game by me. And the guy's a decent player, so it might just be total paranoia on my part. But I just, yeah. I must admit, there wasn't anything that suspicious about his play. But I just get paranoid now. Yeah, the guy didn't play that well, actually. I played quite poorly. Didn't really understand the opening. And probably misplayed the opening, right? So rookie 1 was fine. Maybe all this b4, knight g5. Yeah, knight g5 was quite poor. Actually, bishop e2. Yeah, really obvious as well. Because his queen's stuck. So queen h5 was a blunder. So I don't think this guy was cheating. I do apologise, mate, if you're watching this stream. But this is just poor, yeah, all this stuff. It's very obvious, his moves as well. You don't need to cheat to find these moves. Because now I realise that there's some lines he just wants to go, especially after I take. He wants to go, maybe put a knight on b6 or something. And then double. But in fact, I'm okay. Just hold the position, right? Don't panic. Knight b6, so what? You know. So if I go here and let's say he tries to double, then you go knight b5 with tempo. If he goes here, knight b5. So I'm worried about nothing. And then I'd sort of panic with this knight a4 move. Which actually just helps him to play this. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So the now he is threatening knight b6. So this plan that I was worried about actually helped him. So this was like panic. No, it's just a bad game by me. Like, a very bad game. Okay, forget about that game. Hang on, let's go back. At this game I was in trouble at some point. And he was just winning. So sometimes with these openings you need to look. I think what a useful tool, I mentioned this about Lichess before, is when you play, analyse your games, and it gives you a clue to what openings you should be playing, you should be looking at, sorry. The holes, it tells you about the holes in your repertoire. Nakamura was talking about this yesterday on his stream. So he streams on Kick now, right? Well, I think he gets less viewers, but I think they give him like some sort of like deal. They like pay him to like stream. So he probably gets paid a lot of money, right? But he was saying that, you know, he doesn't play his main openings in Title Tuesday because or online in general. Because people will just look up the games, well, particularly in Title Tuesday, because the games will appear on a database. So very rarely plays his main lines, and yeah, that's what I was mentioning earlier when I played Arthur Pipers. The guy looked up my Lichess games, and yeah, the problem with this kind of position. So it's like, how do you want to do it? Do you want to like? I mean, I like the idea that I'm looking at my own repertoire. You know, it gives me an opportunity to look at my repertoire. What's the holes in my opening knowledge? But it's true that people will then use your games. They will look up unless you can find like a secret account and nobody's going to rumble, which is unlikely. You know, the people that are detectives now, they'll find your online accounts and they'll look at the games. Yeah, so I felt like this position was a bit depressing for me, and like the problem is here, I was b5. I noticed that actually that was a better try. I noticed that in the game. As soon as I regretted not doing that because the position I got in the game was worse. It was a bit depressing. Knight e5. I thought h3 and then f4. You go g5. Right. Yeah, that makes some sense. Even though it's ugly to go g5 because you're giving that square. At least you're making sense of your position, because why else are you playing these lines if you're not going to put a knight on e5? You know, I'm writing a book at the moment, and I'm writing about statistics, and you know, one of the things I was talking about is moving your pieces closer to your opponent's king. So your knight now is closer to the king side, and your pawn on g5 is controlling f4. That's an important square because king side's square. So now you can think about, later on maybe you can think about knight g6, knight h5, bishop e5, stuff like that. You know, it's some sort of optimism for black rather than the game, which is just, I mean, like a retreating move, yeah? That's what I was saying, you know, like instead of attacking, I'm retreating. You know, it's a good example actually. And this is just like a shit position. Yeah, I mean, it's just a bad position, right? Queen f4. Yeah, I think it's just in general my position is very weak, you know. And what's knight doing on g8? Queen f4 is a great move with the idea of knight c4. Yeah, and that was a blunder as well because I was sort of panicking by this point because I'd sort of retreated and then I was panicking. So the old advice, Russians never retreat. So this game was a very poor game and I was just lucky to win. And but by this point I thought, yeah, this practically, oh, f5 as well, you have to say, another attacking move. I can't attack anymore. I'm incapable of attacking. I can only attack with the pieces. I'm scared to attack with the pawns in case I create weaknesses. So, yeah, I mean, I just... Because I wanted to make knight d3 work, but then I realised it didn't work. Because bishop d3, rook c1, but the problem is rook d3, so it just doesn't work. So by this point you're just guessing, and if he finds rook c6 I'm in trouble. But now I felt like I was doing okay, right? Yeah, then he blundered. So that, again, that was a lucky win really, because I thought he might try that move. Queen g4 is a tactical win, which I didn't see. But you should have tried it, because I might have just gone something. I probably would have just played something like rook f8, and I'm still doing well, but yeah. He's got some, you know, practical chances, maybe. Okay, so that game wasn't great either. This game was also suspicious. Very, very poor game. This game was dreadful. Like 58% accuracy, you very rarely see that kind of level. And partly because I missed a forced mate. Very, very poor quality. So we pick it up around about on a6. This is all still theory. I should actually do this, but you wonder, like, what is black's problem here? So it says that this is playable. How do I break through though? I mean, how do I break through his pawn chain? This is what I don't get. So the main line is given is here, here, h3. I mean, the whole line is very, very weird. f4, bishop h2. And it says I'm okay. Wow. Really? I mean, I would just assess this as bad for white. I mean, can't he just take on d6? I mean, this is what I mean about this whole Botvinnik system being very, very ridiculous. Probably one of the best openings ever created, actually, the Botvinnik system, created by the great Mikhail Botvinnik. You know, reading a lot about Russian chess history recently, because Elkan Rubio sent me some books. And yeah, Botvinnik was a great figure in Soviet chess, right? And he created this opening, the Botvinnik system. Very, very complex. And I think the first game that he played it was against Denka in a USSR versus America, maybe telex match or something like that. Not sure, but yeah, I mean, these comp lines are just bonkers, right? Let's just go back. Why can't he take on d6? Rook FB1. Ah, then you're trying to chunk through, are you? Yeah, it's very, very crazy, right? But it's true that, you know, Simon Williams plays this line, and I think he actually got it from me in a roundabout way, because European Team Championships in Gothenburg, it's would have been around about 2005, 2004 actually, and I was there with Nick Purr, and I showed him this line. I said, oh yeah, see, like Radjabov's won a game in this line with knight d2, and I think he told Simon about it, and that's why Simon started playing this line. But objectively, it's not. Yeah, because look, it's, the engine's already giving white disadvantage. So you know, why play this line if you're just worse? So Queen d2 actually a mistake. Should go right. Okay, should know that for future. So this is a miss. I thought I was doing okay here, but I'm not. I'm worse. It should go d3. But actually, yeah, Queen b5 is a big mistake. And then b3 is crushing, because if Queen b3, then Rook a6 presumably, or even Rook fb1. Rook fb1, yeah. Yeah, Rook fb1, massive advantage. I'm just going to come in like Bishop f3 or e6. Bishop f3 I wondered about. No. e6 is crushing. Oh, because, right. It's almost threatening mate. So b3 was just completely over. It did look very ropey. Sorry, let's just go back to that position. It did look very ropey for him at this point. And this is also a blunder because he's got this move. Yeah, I mean, this is just poor play, yeah. So it just shows it was, yeah, and Queen d5 just winning the pawn. I mean, it's terrible, terrible play. How can I miss Queen d5? I just went Bishop f3 far too quickly. And now it's just game on now. Like, this is just completely game on. So it says the best move is Bishop b4. That's very tough to see at blitz. But what's the idea behind it? I wants to put the pawn on a5, right? But can't he just go a... Oh, because he's defending the pawn on d5. Whereas Rook e8 drops h6. So now I felt like I was maybe in control. I was starting to get short of time. And I should go Bishop c6 because I'm reluctant to swap queens. And then, yeah, I'm just winning. It's very, very poor. Very, very poor quality. So it shows that when we get and again Bishop c6, much stronger move, right? Because I've got these ideas of Rook a6. So yeah, it shows when games get complex like this, humans just make ridiculous amount of errors. Well, that in general, is this kind of position is my wheelhouse overall. But compared to boring positions, I'm playing much worse in the engine. Boring positions, maybe I'm not much weaker than the engine, right? In comparison to complex positions, if that makes sense. Well, probably still am, but you know, maybe the gap's not quite as wide. It's like Atlantic Gulf rather than Pacific Gulf. But in sharp positions, the gulf is just enormous. But the fact that I'm probably better in complex positions than my opponents, that's why I tend to do well in these kind of lines. You know, they're even worse in complex positions, I suppose. Yeah, and now of course, as soon as I played my next move, I was like, realised I missed a mate in two. And Queen b5 is, it's just shocking misses, isn't it? Maybe I need to play with increment because it's just very poor quality chess. Like missing Queen b5 there is also very bad. I think I'm trusting my opponent too much as well. I'm not looking for errors. You know, I'm not expecting errors. Like this is just shocking quality. But okay, by this point it doesn't really matter because I'm completely winning. So that game was a very poor game. That game I aborted. That game was a boring draw. And this guy was kind of lecturing me a little bit, right, on what I should have done in the opening, right? Which I think he was right. Oh, my screen's messing up now. What time is it? Nearly 9 o'clock. Should get going soon. Got a lot to do today, i.e. nothing. I've got to run the chess club at the local school, so help out with that. I'm going tomorrow. I'm going away. Play a tournament in Hungary starting on Saturday. Good to Gatwick tomorrow. Get the hotel and then fly out on Friday. So that should be fun. But yeah, a lot of these foreign tournaments, I'm not making any money out of them. I'm probably making a loss out of this tournament I'm going to, even though I'm there as an invited player. It's very hard to make a profit from chess tournaments now. Prize money's not that great. So a lot of people just sit at home and they just online coach and they just knock out courses. What was the opening like? So he said the main line was to take, yeah, right. Or even to take first, right, and then to take. So he's right. This is the main line. So yeah, because then you gain his tempo, and then they have to move the bishop back, and then you go b6. Can you even go there? I mean, probably that's also playable, right? Rather, bishop a6 is a bit, but that's also not bad. Because to be honest, this kind of position is a bit dull. Like for white, you know, there's a lot of fun's gone out of it. Obviously, still got a game, positional. But yeah, I mean, you've really killed one of white's main ideas in Nimzo, which is to gain the bishop pair. So yeah, I think that he was absolutely right what he said. Yeah, I think Queen A4 is not really necessary. So actually what he said was not completely correct, because this is actually a playable line as well. For black. Knight e4. Yeah, like taking was a bit. Yeah, I was expecting some kind of rook into b1 move, which makes a lot more sense because it hits that pawn. And probably I slightly misplayed it. Yeah, b4 I should play, of course. Yeah, not very exciting, but now I'm doing quite well. But it's a draw. No, yeah, that's a mistake. That's a big mistake. He shouldn't take. Oh, so if he goes g4, it seems to be the same, but apparently it's not. Oh, because he keeps, but right, yeah. Well, as soon as he goes knight, rook d5, basically forced to exchange one pair of rooks. If he keeps the rooks on the board, so the point is that after this, it's very different with the one pair of rooks on the board, because he will get a lot of counterplay against my pawns. So his idea is after rook a5, rook a7, he's going to go rook d7, tie one rook down, and then he's always going to have rook d6. So I'm not going to be able to win this position, essentially. But once he swapped a pair of rooks, he's in big trouble. Because now I'm threatening rook a3 and rook c1. So he has to take care of rook c1. But then rook a3, and then I get this winning endgame. Okay, so that was also a little bit lucky as well, because it was probably a draw. Was there any other games that I didn't look at? The only other game was the game where I was white. Yeah, I felt like he was doing quite well at one point. So I think tomorrow I'm going to try and get the 2670, 2770, 2780. Not that it matters, like I say, you know, there's loads of people we've already seen at 2800, 2900, no one gives a shit. They don't get money for it. I don't get money for it. Why are you even bothering, you know? It's a bit of fun, I suppose. But why do you play chess at all? Why does anyone play chess? Yeah, so my idea after this was to go f4, but maybe that's he's just too solid on the king side. Doesn't really like my I like f5 I wanted to play, but it just says this is rubbish. Yeah, I've not got enough. He's just too solid over here. It's not very good. Okay, so the whole idea wasn't very good. So he should have taken the pawn actually. That was a blunder. Because king h8, I think this move's like rook c4. Yeah, rook c4 is crushing. I'm just going to come over here. I take. And this is just game over. Yeah, this is just very bad for him now. Oh, I could actually go queen h6 and force mate. This is also force mate. Yeah. Okay, so those games weren't terrible. That game was okay. Actually, probably played with quite a high level. Actually, would give me in this game because it's funny how in a complex game, the one really complicated game, we both just played absolute trash. And that guy's a streamer. He's I think he's there like every day, all day. I don't know if he makes any money out of it, but he streams a lot. That Master of Mayhem. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, a little bit better, right? 96% accuracy, as opposed to some of the other games which were just dreadful, because it wasn't a very complicated game, and you know, once I found knight f6, he was in trouble. And it was fairly straightforward. I knew what to do after that. Anyway, so thanks for watching, and I'll try and keep pushing. But I might not do another video for some time, because as I say, I'm going away tomorrow. And then might do one tomorrow, but after that, I probably won't do one till late June. Year goes quick, doesn't it? I seem to be going from one chess tournament to another. So I've got that one in Hungary lined up. Then I've got another tournament in Wales. Then I've got a tournament in South Wales and Bridgend. Then I've got a tournament in Belgium. Then doing a British. I should be doing a commentary there. And then I've got yeah, after that, then I got a tournament in Brighton. I like possibly Northumberland Masters, and then Brighton. So up until September, quite busy playing a lot. So my money situation's pretty poor. I haven't got any coaching at the moment. Got no money coming in. The Chesterboard courses, the money dried up completely. So yeah, paying for all these tournaments is quite expensive. So the British will be welcome. You know, if I do the commentary there, then should make a decent profit out of the event. Rather like most of the other, I think the Belgium tournament will probably be reasonably well remunerated there, but some of the other tournaments are difficult to make a profit from. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody.